Hi, everybody. This is Tommy Lasorda. Listen to The Sandlot, the best thing that could happen to you.
The one constant through all the years, Ray, has been baseball.
Are you crying?
It's a part of our past, Ray.
There's no crying.
It reminds us of all that once was good.
There's no crying in baseball.
Just a bit outside.
Baseball will be very, very good to me.
It's a simple game. You throw the ball, you hit the ball, you catch the ball.
Personally, I think we got hosed on that.
The Sandlot Radio Network is on the air. And now, starting pitcher for the Sandlot, former pro player and Major League scout, Ted Howard.
This is National League All-Star Justin Upton.
Hi, this is Shane Victorino.
Hi, this is Albert Pujols.
Hi, this is David Wright.
It's Derek Jeter, New York Yankees, and you're listening to The Sandlot.
Welcome to The Sandlot. It's where everybody plays. It's a place of our own. It's our field. It's our neighborhood. It's our team. It's our home. The Sandlot is presented by the Kinetic Arm, protecting young athletes one arm at a time. The Sandlot is also sponsored by Slide MVP, Tool Shed, Champ Trove, Max Graphics LA, South Bay Credit Union, Fairway Underwriters, Insight Performance Group, and Pro Slide. The Sandlot can be heard right here on Fox Sports 1590 KVTA, also streamed live on kvta.com. Replays of all Sandlot radio shows are published on the major podcast platforms, including SiriusXM Radio, MLB Network, Spotify, SoundCloud, Simplecast, Apple Music, Pandora, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and our newest platform partner, where you can view video interviews, Rumble. Also, check out Sandlot Radio Show on Instagram and Sandlot Radio Network on Facebook for video content with the Major League players. Please explore SandlotRadioNetwork.com for historical reels and images along with links to our outstanding partners. Last week on The Sandlot, we had a guy that I've known since 1997, a longtime Cub who stuck around long enough to win a world championship with the Cubs, now part of the Angels supporting coaching staff, the beloved Bussy, Tim Buss. Plus, we caught up with LA Angels manager, longtime Major League catcher, Hawaiian Kurt Suzuki. We had a throwback to Doug Jones and Rod Beck, also Hawaiian-born MLB All-Star Kirby Yates. We also caught up with longtime center fielder for the Cardinals, current outfield base running coach and world champion John Jay. This week on The Sandlot, we have more from three-time World Series champion and now commentator for the San Francisco Giants, Sergio Romo, and his college coach from Colorado Mesa, Chris Hanks, with 1,168 wins. The skipper is one of the most winning coaches in NCAA college baseball history. We also have Angels baseball analyst, an MLB All-Star, a 20-game winner, Mark Gubiza, plus Angels young infielder, a budding star, Vaughn Grissom. Now we have the rest of the story from MLB All-Star and world champion, Sergio Romo. Well, hey, Giants, Dodgers, Rays, Marlins, Twins, Athletics, Mariners, Blue Jays. That's a lot of teams, a lot of unis, a lot of teammates, a lot of competitors. Yep. Plus, you played in the WBC for Mexico twice, 3 World Series championships. Striking out to end the World Series, dude, that's something that as kids we all tried to pretend and we did it, but you did it, dude. I got to ask you, what was that moment like when you see him swing and miss and you closed out the World Series, Game 7? I'm blown away. What was that moment like?
For me, it was an I told you so moment. I was that kid in the backyard playing catch with my dad, Game 7, bases loaded, full count. At that time, I'd be like Mark McGuire in the batter's box or Ken Griffey Jr. in the batter's box. And, what would I throw him? And this is and that's the way, I was that kid pretending and aspiring and dreaming as a youngster. And I was that kid in the backyard that said, hey, Dad, I'm going to do this one day. And the fact that it actually came to fruition and it all happened, it was real. It wasn't just a dream. It wasn't just an idea or, a goal, an unattainable goal, unachievable goal. It was a kid in the backyard playing catch with his dad, aspiring for great things and actually having every withal, if it be help, if it be advice, if it be support, if it be a ride to practice, a ride to the games, whatever. I found ways to get it done, and I had a lot of support and it wasn't by myself, but at the end of the day, I was that kid. I'm a kid that can honestly tell like his dad and family and friends and anybody, like, I told you so. I told you so. I told you I was going to, this is me. This is like, and at the end of the day, it's not so that people can put me on a pedestal or treat me a certain type of way or think that I'm, BA or anything of that, like I'm just, no, it's just, I say that so proudly because nobody knows exactly what I've been through to get to this point. What it was that I had to go through alone, and all those times that I was alone, because as much support as I had, there's nobody lifted a weight for me. There's no one that ran a mile for me. There's no one that threw a pitch for me. There's no one that got kicked out of a couple schools for me and had to find their trajectory a certain way. Nobody did that but me. I was in the gauntlet, and I went through all of that. And again, I give so much credit to those that helped me along the way, but that's why those people are still in my life. That's why I've taken care of them and I've respected them. I've acknowledged them. I've tried to give them their flowers, because they've been there, through the whole ride. Skip being one of them, Nikki, his wife, being another. Like, you talk about people that just genuinely cared about me and wanted me to fulfill my dreams and wanted me to achieve and not fall short, not because I wasn't good enough or because I didn't get the opportunity. They wanted me to fall short. If I did fall short, they wanted me to fall short on my shield, and go down there trying and giving it my best go with the best opportunities that they could help provide for me as well. So just really proud of everything, really happy of the whole ride, the whole trajectory. I'm proud of the times I'm just going to say, I'm proud of the times I got my ass kicked. I'm proud of the times that I got my ass kicked and I was able to stand back up and keep moving forward. I was proud of, one of the things I'm really most proud about, I have a great understanding of who I am now as a person, as a man, as a father, as a brother, as a sibling, as a friend. I do feel that baseball, my life experiences with baseball, if it be because baseball's taken me through different countries and different states and different teams, different uniforms, different teammates, how you brought up earlier. Like, I'm really most proud of the fact that I never gave up. I never ran away. I never, how do you say, I wasn't too afraid to be afraid and still try something. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't afraid to not have control. There's so many things about baseball that I could sit there and say that I'm proud about, but the fact that I found a big part of what makes me me, just because through baseball, my experiences through baseball, like that's a big accomplishment in my eyes.
I'm going to mention some characters that have been on those winning teams with you. Number one, Bruce Bochy. I don't think the Giants win 3 World Series in 6 years without him. I was in the minor leagues when he managed in the Cal League in Riverside when he was with the Padres. And I saw him outmanage my manager on numerous occasions. And I knew that this dude had a different level of understanding of how a game works. And when he became a major league manager, I said, this dude's the deal. And I know that people love to play for him. That's one guy. Barry Bonds, Ryan Klesko, Tim Litzicum, the freak. These are guys that you spent time with, and you learn so much from guys like that have deep experiences and are as good as anybody in the game.
Oh, I did. You talk about being blessed with being around a lot of not just knowledge of the game and experience, but like legit talent, guys that impactful players. I mean, the freak you mentioned with Litzicum, 2 Cy Youngs back there, setting the precedent for something that just happened this past year with Scooble winning his 2nd Cy Young before arbitration. That type of stuff. Playing with Buster Posey, Benji Molina, Omar Vizquel, Edgar Renteria. I mean, we're just running off on catchers and shortstops right now. Brandon Crawford, we're just running on. We're not even going to the other positions yet. And then that's just with one organization as well. I was blessed to play in 8 organizations and have a tremendous amount of teammates and whatnot from, Nelson Cruz, Blake Snell, Kershaw. I could keep going on all the guys that I've been blessed to call teammates and whatnot. And that's also one of the things that's like a big blessing in baseball that kind of unspoken about is you're around a lot of these guys so much. Around your teammates throughout the year, throughout the seasons and whatnot, you guys become friends, you become brothers. And that's been the best part, one of the best parts that's been everlasting with baseball is I have so many people that I can call friends. I have so many guys that I can call that we've gone to battle with, that they would answer and they would respond back and they would give their advice. They would give their help. They would be there like brothers. I think the relationships is a part that we don't speak about a whole lot, but the relationships that I've made, the friendships that I have, it's unbelievable through baseball, the fraternity that it really, really is. A crazy amount of lists of guys. I could keep going. There's so many. Adrian Gonzalez. There's, it's a crazy list of the name of guys that I've got a chance to play with, and not just against, but on the same team, going to battle with these guys. Yeah, Hall of Famers. It's gnarly. It's just crazy blessing that my career has been, just more so for the fact the teams, the teammates, the accomplishments, the group accomplishments. There's so much to talk about when it comes to baseball. It's crazy.
And your skipper's got to watch all of it, because you know that any time that there was a game on that he could watch, he did. Whether it was the Giants, the Dodgers, the Rays, the Marlins, the Twins, the Athletics, the Mariners, or the Blue Jays, that dude was sitting on games and admiring what you have accomplished. But he mentioned to me, too, the great human being that you are, the great father you are, the great teammate that you were and still are. And the reason that you've got the job today doing color and commenting on baseball through the media is because of that character that you are. And it all gets developed through all these different things that we've talked about. And one of those stops was Colorado Mesa with Coach Hanks.
Yeah. The thing is, not too many people up to that point that I had met Coach Hanks had, not too many people I feel had told me the truth. And I do feel that Skip was honest with me, especially with Coach Rogers as well. Rogers is kind of a guy we don't speak a whole lot about. It doesn't get a whole lot of shine, but he's extremely impactful as well. The way he communicates, the way he's a hard ass, but he'll put his arm around you and tell you he loves you at the same time. And he means it. But those two, they were the beginning of something very special for me. Extremely impactful. One of the best compliments, I guess, in a sense, I can put together for Skip was something I said this summer. I was able to recognize him for Positive Coaching Alliance with a Game Changer Award. And during that, I said, the truth is he didn't necessarily just change my game. He changed my trajectory, more so for the fact that who knows where I would have been if it wasn't him giving me an opportunity to play at his school, taking a chance on me, taking for what it's worth that he had 4 seniors vouching for me as well that had said, hey, man, this kid can help us out, that type of stuff, like the guys I had played summer ball with that were at his school. The fact that he believed in them as well, like that type of stuff, like I haven't gotten that in my my whole life. I haven't gotten that everywhere I've gone, but I got that when I got to Colorado Mesa and when I got to Grand Junction, and who knows where I would have been now. Who knows if he doesn't give me a chance where I would have ended up? Would I have given up? Would I have kept going? Would I have tried to cling on to another school? Would I have tried, you don't know any of that, right? But he gave me that opportunity. I feel very blessed that I got that opportunity. I'm very proud of myself that I was able to take advantage of that opportunity and make the best out of it. But most importantly, I'm proud of the fact that it was him that gave me a chance. He stuck his neck out for me. And look at what he's been able to build, not just for me, but for himself. He's got an amazing family. They love each other. They're close. He's got successful kids, all of them have gone to college and done cool stuff. He got piloted as a kid. His children are very accomplished and his family's very accomplished. But Grand Junction and Mesa wouldn't be the same without Skip. It wouldn't.
That's a fact.
And I'm very proud to be part of that story.
Thanks to Sergio Romo, the most accomplished player in the history of Colorado Mesa. We have his coach when we return. We are Fox Sports 1590 KVTA. I'm your host, Tad Powers. The Sandlot, it's where everybody plays. The Sandlot is presented by the Kinetic Arm, trusted to protect young athletes one arm at a time. For more information, go to sandlotradionetwork.com, the website. On the partners page, click on the Kinetic Arm to start protecting your player's arm today.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Jack Neto here from the Los Angeles Angels, former Campbell alum, and I listen to the Sandlot.
Hey, this is Kurt Suzuki, manager for the Los Angeles Angels. Listening to the Sandlot is a great way to get memories, to get ideas, to get motivation to go out there and have fun and succeed.
Imagine this. Your kid throws out their arm. One bad pitch and suddenly it's surgery, months of pain, and watching from the sidelines. There's an epidemic of arm injuries in youth athletes, but it doesn't have to be that way. The Kinetic Arm is the first dynamic arm stabilizer, supporting the shoulder and elbow when they need it most. Trusted by thousands of athletes. Go to SandlotRadioNetwork.com, click Partners, Kinetic Arm, and protect your kid's arm today.
Champ Trove, where every championship becomes a treasure worth keeping. As a leading one-stop provider of custom championship rings, awards, and team packages, Champ Trove helps sports teams, clubs, and schools turn victories into lasting, high-quality memorabilia. We craft fully bespoke rings and team packages tailored to your vision, finished in just 15 days and shipped free. No rigid templates, no hidden fees, just a dedicated designer guiding you from concept to creation. Just go to champtrove.com. For every champion, forever. Champ Trove.
That sound, it happens every season. The base runner hesitates, a bad slide, a twisted ankle. The truth is, most kids are never actually taught how to slide safely. Slide MVP changes that. It's the portable sliding mat designed to teach proper feet-first technique so players build confidence before game day. No guesswork, no fear, just confidence when it counts. Train at home, train at practice, train the right way. Visit the SandlotRadioNetwork.com partners page for SlideMVP.com. Slide MVP, because one bad slide shouldn't change everything. You know, I don't say this lightly. I've been around the game a long time. There's an epidemic of arm injuries in youth athletes. Until now, nothing truly supported how the arm worked while throwing. Meet the Kinetic Arm, the first dynamic stabilizer supporting both shoulder and elbow in motion. Trusted by over 100,000 athletes. Want to protect your player? Click on SandlotRadioNetwork.com partners and order your Kinetic Arm today.
Hi, everybody. This is Rick Mundy, former Major League player, former All-Star, and now broadcaster with the Los Angeles Dodgers. You're tuned in exactly where you need to be. It's Sandlot, and it's baseball.
Talking baseball, the man and Bobby fella, the Scooter, the Barber, and the Duke. They knew them all from Boston to Dubuque.
Especially Shohei, Mookie, and the Judge.
Welcome back to the Sandlot. It's where everybody plays. We're on Fox Sports 1590 KVTA. Also streamed live on KVTA.com. The Sandlot is presented by our trusted protector of young athletes, the Kinetic Arm. Now we have the rest of the story from Coach Hank at Colorado Mesa. The evolution of that program, I've watched it grow, and it's been unbelievable evolution. What he's done, 1,164 wins. He has been 3-time National Coach of the Year, by the way, and it's because he's taken that team 23 times to NCAA tournaments. We talked before, though, Coach. Still haven't won the thing. It's just hard. That's a tough tournament, and you've got to be deep.
It's so hard. Oh, yes. No, there was a couple teams that I thought, especially this year, I thought, this team is so good. This team is so good.
Yeah.
Well, Skip, we did talk about that.
I think in that whole picture, you put, you got hitting, pitching, defense, base running, all the phases of the game. And what I've determined after 33 years of coaching is when you get to the end, or for that, probably in a lot of games and situations along the way, there's a piece, and it's a little bit of luck and timing, and it's probably amounts to about 20% of the equation, especially in baseball. Good hops, bad hops, good calls, bad calls. The wind's blowing in, the wind's blowing out. They shifted into you perfectly, so you got to have a little bit of that, and that's just the one little element we're missing still at the end of the year. We'll get it.
Well, you're going to keep battling through it. He's going to win on championships, Sergio. I just know it. I thought it was going to be this year. They were rated number one most of the season. I thought it was going to be the year they won.
Yeah. No, I thought it was going to be this year, too, not just because of their rankings, but the type of team that he had. He had a mixture of everything in terms of speed. Everybody, it seemed like on his team, can hit for power a little bit. But they were hit for average. They played solid defense. And he had I thought he had pitching this year. He had a little bit more depth pitching-wise than I thought he had previously. A couple conversations we had during the year where he had expressed that this year, he he had about a handful of guys that could throw, low to mid 90s throw, like sitting there and velocity wise. So like he was, I thought this was the squad. They fell short for a couple miscues, a couple bad luck bounces here and there, as he was explaining. But I truly believe he's going to win a national title at one point. It's just the consistency in which he works, the consistency in which he communicates, talks with the kids, the boys on his team, and that's one of the things that I noticed when the last time I was there was his communication skills with the guys hasn't changed. That was one of the things where I admired most about him is everything that he said that he was going to do or attempt to do or try to do, he's done it, and he's a man of his word. So he tells you the truth, and you don't get that everywhere in this world. And I do feel that that's how you earn respect, and that's how you go about getting these young guys to sell out for his program and for his team, and more so for the fact that they know what they're going to get with Skip. They know they're going to get someone that cares, that's honest, he works hard, he puts his best foot forward as often as possible. And when he's not on and he makes mistakes, he's the first to admit them and to acknowledge that, he wasn't on top of it, or he had, whatever roles that he's played in that. So I believe it. I see it. I just kind of bummed out that I won't be on that team when it happens.
Well, hey, from the Sandlots of Brawley High School, into Orange Coast College, Arizona Western, not to mention going on to University of North Alabama. I have a feeling that wasn't the greatest fit. But then to end up at Mesa.
That was a great experience. Great experience.
But it was, I could see why you'd move on past there. Get back out to the West, you get to the same type of climate, that dry Southern California climate, and you get to play under Coach Hank. You get to the minor leagues, you get to the big leagues quick, and all of a sudden you're closing games in the World Series. You win 3 World Series champs. You've been an all-star, and now you're doing the dark side, the media, and which is fun.
The dark side.
I call it the dark side because, if you're a player before, now you got to go and do this. You have to have a different approach because guys don't typically like media. We want them to like us, right, Sergio?
Yeah. So the cool part is that us has got opportunities to play the game, right? So we got to see what it's like as a player in terms of like our perception of the media. So, hey, certain guys that did this, it bothered me. It didn't make me feel good. It put me in a bad spot or whatnot. Like, you remember those moments and take them in as noted experiences, more so for the fact that these players too, especially here with the Giants, that I've been around them a lot more this year, they still see me as a player, still see me as one of them. I'm not going to do anything, pressure them for certain appearances or questions or topics and whatnot. I'm not going to beat on dead horses. I'm not going to go out and, put them in the tough spot and ask them to speak poorly of a teammate or the situation or the organization. That, I've been limiting my, the type, like how much I indulge in the dark side, and how many, what type of questions I'm really asking guys. I'm more sticking to fun stuff and more not as serious type of stuff, because I don't want no one to put anybody in a tough spot. And plus, I don't want them to see me any different either. I want them to continue to see me as a player. Why? Because I was a player. I just recently retired, and less than a handful of seasons ago retired, so it's still fresh in their mind that where I've been playing, they still see me as one of them, and I don't want that to change. But it is difficult to be on this side, especially knowing what how sensitive some topics are, and how to bring up questions, how to ask questions, what type of topics are okay to talk about, which players, easier conversation, harder conversation, more willing, less willing. You kind of pick and apart, and you learn, and you understand from that standpoint, how to work things.
I want to thank both Chris Hank, Colorado Mesa's head coach for the last 28 years, and also Sergio Romo, longtime major leaguer and still in the game, broadcasting with the Giants. I want to thank the two of you for being guests on the Sandlot.
Go for it, Skip.
That's great. Hey, love you guys. Sergio, you take care. Let's stay in touch.
Sure.
Thanks to the skipper at Colorado Mesa, former coach of Sergio Romo, Chris Hank. Don't go away. We have former Major League right-handed pitcher, a 20-game winner, an all-star, and a world champion. We have Angels baseball analyst Mark Gubiza when we return I'm your host, Tad Powers. We're on Fox Sports 1590 KVTA. The Sandlot, it's where everybody plays. The Sandlot is presented by the Kinetic Arm. Why wait to start protecting your player's arm? Go to the SandlotRadioNetwork.com website for partners and order your Kinetic Arm today.
On outside, just like I like it.
Hey, that's what's up, Skip. And hey, I'm Sergio Romo, and I listen to the Sandlot. You looking for the power? Just tap into Tad right here. He's got the Tad powers going on 24/7. That's what's up. Appreciate you guys being here.
Hi, I'm Justin Robleski, and I listen to the Sandlot.
This is Alex Vesia, two-time champion, left-hand pitcher in the bullpen, and I listen to the Sandlot.
Imagine this. Your kid throws out their arm. One bad pitch and suddenly it's surgery, months of pain, and watching from the sidelines. There's an epidemic of arm injuries in youth athletes, but it doesn't have to be that way. The Kinetic Arm is the first dynamic arm stabilizer, supporting the shoulder and elbow when they need it most. Trusted by thousands of athletes. Go to SandlotRadioNetwork.com, click Partners, Kinetic Arm, and protect your kid's arm today.
That sound. It happens every season. The base runner hesitates, a bad slide, a twisted ankle. The truth is, most kids are never actually taught how to slide safely. Slide MVP changes that. It's the portable sliding mat designed to teach proper feet-first technique so players build confidence before game day. No guesswork, no fear, just confidence when it counts. Train at home, train at practice, train the right way. Visit the SandlotRadioNetwork.com partners page for SlideMVP.com. Slide MVP, because one bad slide shouldn't change everything.
Champ Trove, where every championship becomes a treasure worth keeping. As a leading one-stop provider of custom championship rings, awards, and team packages, Champ Trove helps sports teams, clubs, and schools turn victories into lasting, high-quality memorabilia. We craft fully bespoke rings and team packages tailored to your vision, finished in just 15 days and shipped free. No rigid templates, no hidden fees, just a dedicated designer guiding you from concept to creation. Just go to champtrove.com. For every champion, forever. Champ Trove.
You know, I don't say this lightly. I've been around the game a long time. There's an epidemic of arm injuries in youth athletes. Until now, nothing truly supported how the arm worked while throwing. Meet the Kinetic Arm, the first dynamic stabilizer supporting both shoulder and elbow in motion. Trusted by over 100,000 athletes. Want to protect your player? Click on SandlotRadioNetwork.com partners and order your Kinetic Arm today.
Hey everybody, this is Trevor Hoffman, a Hall of Famer and a San Diego Padre, and you're listening to The Sandlot.
Welcome back to The Sandlot. It's where everybody plays, right here on Fox Sports 1590 KVTA. Also streamed live on KVTA.com. The Sandlot is presented by the Kinetic Arm. Right now we have Los Angeles Angels TV broadcaster, a former Major League All-Star, and a 20-game winner, something we might not see anymore, Mark Gubiza. Mark, thanks so much for being a guest on The Sandlot.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Anytime I can be on the show with you, I'm going to be happy to do that.
I appreciate it. So let's talk about your childhood Sandlot days, because this is the Sandlot show, and we got to know, what was it that made you want to play this game and sacrifice that it takes to become a major leaguer?
I think really it even goes back playing some stickball back in the schoolyard back in Philly with like 16 of my buddies every day. No matter if it was raining, it was hot, humid. We played other sports during different times of the year, but this playing and listening to Harry Callis and Richie Ashburn calling the games and watching Mike Schmidt and Greg Luzinski and Dave Cash and Manny Trio and Larry Bowen, all those guys playing Pete Rose eventually. They're saying, it's someday if I can keep working and playing, someday maybe I'll be just like them.
16 kids that played stickball. Do you still keep in touch with some of those guys? Because I still got some Sandlot friends that I keep in touch with, and I talk to almost every day.
Yeah, every year, sometimes obviously it doesn't work out for me, but every year we have this thing we call the Yard Fest, because we were the 11 Yard Boys. So there was we try to get together. We lost a number of them, passed away over the years, so we try to keep, even bringing their widows to the little get together just to keep together. We text often, and we still reminiscing about all the stories and all the songs we used to play. And I remember the one song from Styx called Come Sail Away. Thinking about childhood friends and the dreams you had. We were always, each one of us said our goal was to get out of Philly and make it somewhere. And fortunately or unfortunately, I was the only one who was able to make it where, I ended up being in the end.
And in the end, a World Series in 1985 with the Kansas City Royals, that pitching staff, because you're a pretty young man in 1985.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, our first year in '84, we made the playoffs against arguably one of the best teams I think ever played the game of baseball. It was the Tigers in '84, and they won the World Series. You had Saberhagen at 20, I was 21, Danny Jackson was 22, and eventually you had Bud Black and Charlie Liebrand. None of those guys really had a ton of experience. Bud Black was basically our most veteran pitcher we had, and yet he was still in his mid-20s himself. So we had a lot of young guys. We had some good mentors coming up. Dennis Leonard was around. Initially it was Paul Splodorf, Larry Gore, but Dan Quisenberry was the guy who kept us together.
The from under guy.
Yeah.
I was the guy that threw from down there too, so I modeled myself around him. And my first pro season was with Kansas City in '87, Baseball City.
Yeah, so I mean, I loved, that was one of the coolest places, because at that point, when I first came out, we were in Fort Myers, which I loved down there. But then we moved to Haines City, Baseball City, and it was like it was our own world there too. So we had the baseball fields, we had the amusement park, and I remember as a pitcher, we'd be done our workouts, and I'd be on the roller coaster. I was waving and messing around with the guys because the position players were out there playing every day and still working while I'm running on a roller coaster. So it was so much. I was so bummed when we end up not being there anymore. But it was a blast because it was like a mini Cooperstown there. They had a bunch of shows they did from there, and everything about it was cool. And the facilities were all there because at one point our big league club was in Fort Myers, but our minor league club was in Sarasota, Florida. So it was good to have everything all in one area, and it made everything better for the organization.
And that time it was state of the art. And in 1987, Bo Jackson. What was it like to play with that dude? Because you got a guy here named Mike Trout that kind of reminds me of Bo.
Yeah, the funny thing is that for the longest time, everyone asked me, who does Mike Trout remind you of? And I said he's a combination of George Brett and Bo Jackson. The George Brett, the baseball player, Bo Jackson, the wow athlete. So you put them both together and you got Mike Trout. So playing with Bo every day, you just see him do things that I haven't seen. Then you see Trouty doing, you see Shohei Ohtani doing it. But Bo was such an incredible athlete, so strong. I used to go to all the football games too with sideline passes, watching him just run through all the football players, all those monsters out there on the field, and they were in awe of watching Bo. So we saw him on the baseball side, and some of the things he did still, as I look back and reflect now that I've gotten a lot older, there's some things I don't think anybody will ever see anyone ever do what he did.
1987, there's a guy on your team with Kansas City that I played. Well, he was a couple of years ahead of me in high school in Lincoln, Illinois, Kevin Seitzer. And that year he had 217 hits as a rookie, and it just so happened that Mark McGwire had 49 home runs. So poor Kevin finished second in the Rookie of the Year balloting, but 217 hits your rookie year usually gets you that Rookie of the Year, doesn't it?
Yeah, he was, he was a great hitter. And to this day, as a hitting coach, you look at all the teams he's worked with over the years, he's done a tremendous job with. He grinded every at bat. He used the whole field exceptionally well. We always joke around because I know the last week of the year, I think he was battling with Kirby Puckett for the leaders in hits. And I was facing him, and I was like, oh, man. And he's like, go get him. I said, I'm going to get him for you. And he got a knock off me, ended up beating Seitz for the lead in hits. And he goes, I said, man, I should have walked. He goes, no, I don't want you to walk. I want him to make it earn his way, and he did, so give him all the credit in the world. But Seitz, he played the game hard, at third base there for a while, then first base, but he really knew how to hit.
Pitching's changed a lot since you were playing. You had a lot of complete games. They don't happen anymore. You had shutouts. The number of shutouts you had, they don't have in 5 years now, so because nobody can complete a game. What do you think the biggest difference is?
I think for me, my mentality was, and I remember, just from my second or third start of my career, I went 6 innings. We won the game like 6-3. And Hal McRae, our designated hitter, and Lee May, our first base coach, they used to call me Cabana Boy because I looked like Matt Dillon back from the Flamingo Kid. They said, hey, Cabana Boy, come here. So I said, yeah. And he goes, how do you feel about your game? Something, oh, man, this is a trick question. I went 6 innings, gave up 3 runs. I said, good. And he goes, and they just wore me out. And they said, we play every single day on this turf, and you're going, in the 5th day, you're only going 6 innings. If you don't go 7 or 8 innings, if not complete the game, don't you ever walk in this clubhouse with a smile on your face. So I'm like, uh-oh. So you know what? I'd rather fight Dick Hauser, our manager, than those guys. So I always had that mentality. I just wanted to shake the catcher's hand. As soon as I threw the first pitch, I wanted to shake shake his hand at the end of the game.
Not too many guys have that mentality anymore, and we won't see complete games. We won't see 20-game winners like you had. As a matter of fact, I don't know if we'll get a 20-game winner again.
It's hard because, and it's like I always say, I don't put any blame on the starting pitcher himself. First of all, people like to devalue a win as a starter. I'm like, no, your job is to get the win. Otherwise, it's like I said, it's a glorified bullpen session. Second of all, you better be able, if you're going to win games, especially if you want to win 20, you got to be able to go 6-7 innings minimum. Because if you go in 5 innings, yes, you put yourself in line for a win, but you got to put that much pressure on your bullpen to get 12 outs every night. And these guys are, they're going full bore too, the bullpen arms, and eventually they're going to have a game where they're not at their best. So it's hard to win games when you're relying on your bullpen to get 12 to 9 outs, 9 to 12 outs every single time out.
So some things we will never see again. 200 wins, 300 are out of the question. The strikeouts, the 4,000 strikeouts is not going to happen anymore. And I don't see the extended careers like you had anymore out of pitchers because they're blowing out so much.
Yeah, there's a couple of factors I think that come into play there. One, the guys make so much money now that before you got paid as a starter for wins and innings. That was it, and starts. If you didn't do that, you weren't getting paid. Now you get paid for swing and misses and whiff percentage and things like that. So your full max effort, it's tough for these guys to sustain a 200-inning season and be able to go do that for 10 years now. So they're going full max. It's harder for them just to be able to have that because they get valued on how many times you get the hitter to swing and miss. So to do that, you have to throw full max every pitch, and it's hard on your arm. And like I said, nowadays, because of the money being made with you at such an early stage, once you get there, and if you're not an elite player or pitcher right now, all of a sudden you're gone. We'll bring the next guy up, the next young guy. It makes a little bit less. So it's harder on the players. It's harder. It's going to be harder to see guys getting that 10 years in, which is what your goal always is as a player, to be able to get a 10-year service time.
He's a former Major League pitcher, a 20-game winner, a 2-time All-Star, and a World Series champion. Mark Gubiza is now a broadcaster with the Angels and been doing that for a long time. You've been in this game a long time. You've seen a lot of changes. What's most important to you about this game?
I still, even when I'm doing now, this is my 20th season doing this, I still feel part of the family. And everyone goes, when are you going to stop doing it? I go, just like when I was a pitcher, I said, I'm not stopping until nobody gives me a uniform. I'm going to keep doing this. So I think part of it is being around that camaraderie you have. Like I said, growing up playing stickball in a schoolyard, so I went from that 16 group now to 26, and then obviously now my broadcasting family. So it's something I don't know anything to do in life. I need that itinerary to tell me what time to be somewhere every day. I don't know, like the 1 year in between all this, I had 1 year not doing that. I was sitting at home with my wife and I'm looking, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing today, because somebody's told me to be somewhere all the time, but there's something to be said for that, because your mind is always working so hard. That's what I always think. My mind is going to be there until whenever anything happens, because I'm already thinking what I'm supposed to do there, how am I going to prep, and all this other stuff. So the brain is always working. I just hope the physical part just stays intact.
Well, look at how much joy that Vin Scully brought us right up until the very end. So it is a thing that you can do until you're an older person.
Yeah, I mean, and I used to have many conversations in Dodgers game, but especially here, because we only have that little pane of glass in between us, so we would mess around all day long. And I'm thinking, that's Vin Scully, but he was like, outside of my dad, he was the nicest man I've ever met in my entire life, and he was so normal. And you ask him anything, and he's always have a good conversation with. I had a chance to interview him. The last year he was working for our pregame show, and just the answers he gave were like incredible. Just to think how many people he watched play this great game, and how many people were in awe of him. More than any, I mean, you look at Dodger Stadium, that last thing, it doesn't matter who's playing in that uniform for the Dodgers. Everyone's like, there's Vin Scully up there. And that's how important he is to the fan base.
Wow, man, that is something. I got a chance to interview him too, and I got to tell you, the things that he said to me and the kindness in his eyes and his heart made you love the game of baseball.
Oh, there's no doubt. And I remember I asked him a question like, all right, Vin, you've done so many games. You call perfect games. What was the one time were you ever nervous doing a game? And he goes, Mark, it was here at Angel Stadium in 1989 at the All-Star game, because he was doing the game with President Reagan, and him and President Reagan knew each other. They were good friends, but he knew President Reagan there's some things were slowing down for him. So he was like, please just don't have one of those moments where he might say something or do something that he didn't mean to do or say, but he said he was flawless like he always was. And he said as soon as he was able to talk, and then Bo Jackson hits that home run, and he goes, Bo Jackson says hello, and then President Reagan goes, yes, he did. I mean, it was all of a sudden, it was just one of the greatest moments ever. And to be in that All-Star game that day and just be a part of that history like that was unbelievably amazing.
He's a huge part of the Angels' history. Mark Gubiza, I want to thank you so much for being a guest on the Sandlot.
Appreciate it, man. The Sandlot rocks and rolls.
It's always good to hear from a major league player turned broadcaster. Thanks to Mark Gubiza. We are Fox Sports 1590 KVTA, the Ventura Sports Talk Station. I'm your host, Tad Powers. The Sandlot, it's where everybody plays. The Sandlot is presented by the Kinetic Arm. Go to SandlotRadioNetwork.com partners page. Click on Kinetic Arm and start protecting your player's future today.
Hey everybody, this is Troy Johnston with the Colorado Rockies, right fielder. I always listen to the Sandlot.
Hey, it's Mike Rohn. If you know me, it's probably from a fantastic TV show called Dirty Jobs. If you don't worry about it. The important thing is I'm in the Sandlot with Tad. And if you think it's dirty in here, well, you're right.
Imagine this. Your kid throws out their arm. One bad pitch and suddenly it's surgery, months of pain, and watching from the sidelines. There's an epidemic of arm injuries in youth athletes, but it doesn't have to be that way. The Kinetic Arm is the first dynamic arm stabilizer, supporting the shoulder and elbow when they need it most. Trusted by thousands of athletes. Go to SandlotRadioNetwork.com, click Partners, Kinetic Arm, and protect your kid's arm today.
Running a business is hard enough. Growing one is even harder. That's where Insight Performance Group comes in. They help businesses streamline operations, improve marketing, strengthen sales systems, and create processes that drive growth. Instead of spending all of your time putting out fires, Insight helps you build a more efficient, scalable business. If you're ready to work smarter, grow faster, and get more out of your business, schedule a free consultation by going to SandlotRadioNetwork.com website partners page. Click on the logo for Insight Performance Group to begin growing your business today.
Whether you're in the batter's box or grinding through a 12-hour shift, your gear matters from the inside out. Introducing Toolshed Premier Compression Underwear. Toolshed is designed for the athlete and worker who demand comfort and durability. Moisture-wicking technology, aero cooling mesh, and a fit that stays put. No chafing, no riding up, just pure performance. Upgrade your base layer today at ToolshedUSA.com. Use code SandlotRadio10 for 10% off. Toolshed, made in America.
You know, I don't say this lightly. I've been around the game a long time. There's an epidemic of arm injuries in youth athletes. Until now, nothing truly supported how the arm worked while throwing. Meet the Kinetic Arm, the first dynamic stabilizer supporting both shoulder and elbow in motion. Trusted by over 100,000 athletes. Want to protect your player? Click on SandlotRadioNetwork.com partners and order your Kinetic Arm today.
It was pretty much decided for me to play baseball when I was born.
The Sandlot's where it all starts, doesn't it?
I wasn't bigger than everybody. I just threw harder.
It doesn't take any talent to hustle.
If you don't pull for the Dodgers, there's a good chance you may not get into heaven.
Welcome back to the Sandlot right here on Fox Sports 1590 KVTA. I'm your host, Tad Powers. The Sandlot is presented by the most trusted protector of arms in the industry, the Kinetic Arm. Right now we have a rising star in MLB, a third baseman for the Angels. He's played short, he's played second, he's played first. Very versatile, great hands, great instincts, high baseball IQ. Grew up in Central Florida, where him and Riley Green started playing with and against each other at the age of 12. So they were battling and trying to make each other better. And because Riley Green was one of the top prospects in the whole country, that meant there might be 30 to 60 scouts at most of the games. So what did that mean for Vaughn Grissom? He was going to get a lot of eyeballs on him. And I always tell kids, you never know who's watching, but when Riley Green is your teammate, you do know who's watching. So that means we give a hard 90 every single time. As hard to first base as we possibly can, whether it's on a base hit, a ground ball through the infield, extra base hit. We're getting that 90 feet as quickly as we possibly can out of the box and down the line, because those scouts got those watches on us. And Vaughn Grissom was able to show scouts that he not only had above average speed, but he had the type of body that was projectable to be a major league player one day, because he was 6'3", 185, lean. He had great movements. He had great exchange from glove to hand. His footwork was outstanding. He had great bat-to-ball skills. That means he's centering a lot of balls and getting backspin. It means he's making contact a lot, not striking out a lot. And then he had projectable power because at that age, he was long and lean, and he's a big guy now. So he is definitely a guy that at 25 years old has a projectable future at many different infield positions, if not for the Angels, for somebody. He was a prospect with the Atlanta Braves. He's been a prospect with the Boston Red Sox, and at a young age was in a major league trade with Chris Sale. So it just gives you the idea of his value. He made a play the other night that we were talking about in the interview where it was so obvious that he has a high baseball IQ, because a bounce pass to prevent Sun on a double play ball, haven't seen it a whole lot, but he did it. You'll probably see the highlights of that. So we have Vaughn Grissom at Angel Stadium with Vaughn Grissom. Vaughn, thanks very much for being a guest on the Sandlot.
I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you so much.
Let's talk about your childhood Sandlot days, because you grew up in a part of the country in Central Florida where you have a chance to play the game year-round.
Oh, yeah.
And I have a feeling that you might have had some kids in your area, Sandlot, that gathered up and figured out how to play some games.
Oh, yeah, there was plenty of it. You know, my grandparents had neighbors, and they were always older than me, so we were always constantly playing ball there. But I was going to my grandparents' house, play with the cousins and stuff, and at the bus stop we'd play with like pine cones and you know, palm fronds, you know, stems and stuff. So there was always a way to play ball for sure.
And at that time, you guys did have a couple teams in Florida. Were those the teams that you were watching?
Yeah, I used to watch the Rays. But I wasn't a Rays fan, but I used to, you know, that was the channel that we got. So big Ben Zobrist guy, you know, big James Loney guy, you know, and some of those guys coming through for sure.
And what about on the other Miami team? Were there some guys on that team that you looked at?
I never was big on Miami. Loved like the team and the history and the colors and the stuff like that. But like I said, the Rays were the team the channel I got. So it was always Sun Sports, you know, Matt Damon, Johnny Damon, you know, and some of those guys. There was a bunch of good guys who came through. In my opinion, you know, we had the Matt Joyces, you know, Sean Rodriguez's and stuff like that. So it was a cool time to watch the race.
By the time you got to high school, you're becoming a pretty good player, and there's another guy in your high school that's a pretty good player too, Riley Green. I'm sure you guys must have pushed each other and made each other better.
Oh, yeah. It was every single day, yeah, we would push each other. We were always trying to, you know, I wouldn't say one-up each other, but we were, you know, didn't want to be the one who didn't get that one more push-up or didn't hit the one more ball or things like that. But it was all good fun, good faith, and, without each other, who knows how far we would have gone, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and Riley was considered to be like a first-round draft pick out of high school, so he's bringing the scouts.
Oh, yeah.
And all of a sudden, the scouts are looking out there at shortstop and seeing this tall, lanky shortstop and going, well, what about this guy?
Yeah, I mean, I was always a guy who made a lot of contact, so it was nice. I always hit behind Riley, too, whether it was summer ball or a high school ball, so it was always nice to, and he, like you said, he would pack out the stadium sometimes like 60 scouts, so it was like, holy crap. We'd hit BP and stuff like that, so it was just a great opportunity. Like you said, like he brought him out there, and all I had to do was convince one of them.
And right out of high school, Atlanta figures this guy's worth taking. You go in the 11th round, and you start climbing through the Atlanta organization pretty quick.
Yeah, it was a pretty good storm, you know, that ended up brewing over there in Atlanta with opportunity and stuff like that. Obviously, my first year, COVID happened, and I was able to go to the alt site, which was what I think was huge for my development and coming through. But yeah, just trying to take advantage of the opportunity that was given me by Atlanta, and I'm glad, you know, they gave it to me and they trusted me, and, you know, it led me to where I'm at today.
And, you know, you were in a big league trade pretty young, and you get to Boston at a really young age, 21, you get to make your debut. What was that like for the family when you make that call at home and you're going to the big leagues?
Yeah, it was overwhelming. It was the last thing I thought was going to happen that night. I barely even watched the big league team at that point, you know what I mean, because it was so far out, you know, from where I thought I would, you know, have an opportunity to go up there and help, you know, or provide or whatever. And, but it was a shock to to me and my family and my friends as well. There's a lot of people in Oviedo that really had my back and were rooting for me. So the news came pretty quick, and it was pretty exciting.
You know, to get to this level, you had to have support from a very young age, and I have a feeling being in that part of the country and having opportunities to play around that your family got behind you.
Oh yeah, it was family and extended family, friends, the friends' parents were helping out, like taking me to games and tournaments and stuff like that. My dad, my mom, everyone played a big role. My grandparents, my sister. I think there wasn't anyone in Oviedo who didn't play a role in my success. So I'm super grateful for it. And not a lot of people get that opportunity.
What age did you feel personally like maybe I got a shot at this? Because you get drafted in the 11th round out of high school, that says something, but usually if you got a feeling a little before that.
That's a tough one. I always had my sights on college. I just wanted to get a scholarship and stuff like that. I knew I made a lot of contact. I'd say probably my junior summer. I did well with the wood bat, and against better competition, I would usually figure it out and get some hits and put the barrel on the ball often. So I knew I could always compete. It was I just didn't think the opportunity would be there, because it's such a slim. You know what I mean? You got to get really lucky as well. So I was like, yeah, I thought I was talented. I can compete, but I thought it was easy to get lost in the baseball world. I'm so convinced the best players don't always get seen. You know what I mean? Like I said, you got to get lucky, and I never believed it would be me. You know what I mean? Just because the chances and the numbers, say so. But I was glad when I got the opportunity that someone took a chance on me.
And yeah, again, for the family, it's got to be an unreal feeling to know that all that work you put in and all the time they spent getting into these travel events and these showcases and stuff, it paid off.
Yeah, I can imagine what it feels like for my parents and my grandparents and stuff like that. I know they're uber proud of me, and they love watching and stuff. And one day I hope I could feel what they might feel. But it's always an eye opener whenever we talk about it and we look back. I can't believe we're actually we made it to the big leagues and stuff like that.
Well, obviously you got big league tools, but it takes a lot to be versatile and play short, second, third, first base at this level. But you've shown that you can do it. It has a lot to do with baseball IQ and being a scout. I know that's something that not everybody understands. But the other night I'm at a game and I watched you make a pass that reminded me of a Magic Johnson pass or something, because the sun was shining directly in the second baseman's face. If you threw a seed over there eye high, it would have been directly in the sun.
Oh, for sure.
So you threw a seed one hop. It was perfect one hop. And he was able to turn double play. What made you think of that?
So, playing second base the day before, I was able to notice that, that the sun was brutal, punching through the gap over there. So I told Guzman was playing there at the time, I was like, you're going to have to bounce throw. I won't let it go to the right field, but I ain't going to be able to see it, like you said, if you throw it eye high. And so I was like, all right, we need to practice this tomorrow. Tomorrow came, and we didn't practice it, So, and I remembered, once I look over at second base and I see the sun just glaring over there, I'm like, oh crap, we forgot to practice that. But I told Peraza, I'm gonna bounce it, but like I said, I gave it my best shot, and I'm just grateful that it was a pretty good one. So,
I've been watching this game a long time. I don't think I've ever seen that, and it just shows that is a baseball IQ play, and that comes from being around good baseball and also just playing a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, in the moment, it didn't feel like I was doing anything besides making sure that the play was made. Obviously, a big deal was made out of it, but in the moment, in the day before, I thought it was like, that's just what you got to do. You know what I mean? In a situation like this. But yeah, it was pretty cool that it got a little traction, and maybe teams will use that, when the sun is killing them. So pretty cool.
From the Sandlots of Central Florida to the big old stadium in Anaheim with the Angels, Vaughn, Grissom, I want to thank you for being a guest on the Sandlot.
I appreciate you so much. That's awesome.
Thanks for listening to the 14th Sandlot Radio Network program of the 2026 baseball season. We will continue to bring you unique baseball stories from the biggest names in baseball, including current, former, and future major league players, coaches, scouts, front office personnel, and even media, as they reflect on the road to the big leagues. Remember, you can catch replays of this year's and past season's episodes on the Sandlot Radio Network, SoundCloud, and Simplecast pages. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook for video content with the Major League players. We also have links to our YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, SiriusXM Radio MLB Network, and all other major podcast platforms, including our newest platform partner. To view video interviews, we have Rumble. Please explore the SandlotRadioNetwork.com website to check out reels and images from our long history of covering everything from the Sandlot to the big leagues. If you are interested in advertising your business on the Sandlot Radio Show, give us a call at 303-350-0655. That's 303-350-0655, or send us a message to the SandlotRadioNetwork.com website. I'd like to thank all of our guests on today's show. We had Colorado Mesa's baseball coach, Chris Hanks, one of the winningest coaches in NCAA college baseball history and three-time World Series champion, Major League All-Star, now broadcaster with the Giants, Sergio Romo, plus a 20-game winner, a World Series champion, an All-Star, now broadcaster, Mark Gubiza, and future MLB star with the Angels, a utility infielder, Vaughn Grissom. Be sure to tune in every Saturday at 8 a.m. on Fox Sports 1590 KVTA. Also streamed live on kvta.com. The Sandlot has been presented by the Kinetic Arm. To purchase and start protecting your athlete today, go to SandlotRadioNetwork.com. Click on the Kinetic Arm on our partners page. Start protecting your player's arm right now. The Sandlot is also sponsored by Slide MVP, Champ Trove, Tool Shed, South Bay Credit Union, Fairway Underwriters, Max Graphics LA, Insight Performance Group, and ProSlide. The Sandlot, it's where everybody plays. It's a place of our own. It's our field. It's our neighborhood. It's our team. It's our home. I'm your host, Tad Powers.
Damn it! Who typed a question mark on the teleprompter? For the last time, anything you put on that prompter, Burgundy will read.
This is National League All-Star Justin Upton.
Hi, this is Shane Victorino.
Hi, this is Albert Pujols.
Hi, this is David Wright.
This is Derek Jeter, New York Yankees, and you're listening to The Sandlot.
Is this heaven?
It's Iowa. Is there a heaven?
Oh, yeah. It's the place dreams come true.
Hey, Dad? You want to have a catch?
I'd like that.
Imagine this. Your kid throws out their arm. One bad pitch and suddenly it's surgery, months of pain, and watching from the sidelines. There's an epidemic of arm injuries in youth athletes, but it doesn't have to be that way. The Kinetic Arm is the first dynamic arm stabilizer, supporting the shoulder and elbow when they need it most. Trusted by thousands of athletes. Go to SandlotRadioNetwork.com, click Partners, Kinetic Arm, and protect your kid's arm today.
The difference between safe and out is inches. And the difference between hesitation and going all out, confidence. But confidence disappears fast when you're worried about cuts and scrapes. Introducing ProSlide. Padded compression sleeves for legs and arms, protecting knees, shins, and elbows so you can play all out. Stay in the game with ProSlide. Get yours today by visiting the SandlotRadioNetwork.com website. Visit Partners, then ProSlide. ProSlide Sports. Play hard, stay protected. Looking to stand out? At Max Graphics LA, they bring your ideas to life. From custom screen printing and high-quality embroidery to eye-catching signs and banners, they do it all. Outfit your team, promote your business, or create one-of-a-kind personal gear. Whether it's company uniforms, sports league fan swag, or custom designs for any occasion, we've got you covered. Fast, reliable, and made just the way you want it. Call 310-350-3394 or visit maxgraphicsla.com today. Max Graphics LA, where your brand gets noticed.
When you run a sports facility, tournament, camp, or recreation business, you need more than insurance. You need coverage built for the game. For over 35 years, Fairway Underwriters has specialized in protecting sports and recreation organizations nationwide, from baseball and softball facilities to camps, leagues, tournaments, golf courses, fitness centers, and special events. Because when the unexpected happens, experience matters. Fairway Underwriters, the name trusted for quality and innovation since 1989. Call 1-800-662-2141 or visit fairwayunderwriters.com today. Fairway Underwriters, protection built for sports.
With so many banking options out there, why choose South Bay Credit Union? As a nonprofit credit union, they're here to serve you, not shareholders. That means they're able to provide better rates, fewer fees, and more valuable benefits to empower their members to live better and do better. You want to master your money? South Bay Credit Union puts you in control of your money with everyday banking solutions. From checking accounts to home mortgages, credit cards to auto loans, their members have access to the tools they need to achieve their financial goals now and in the future. You know, I don't say this lightly. I've been around the game a long time. There's an epidemic of arm injuries in youth athletes. Until now, nothing truly supported how the arm worked while throwing. Meet the Kinetic Arm, the first dynamic stabilizer supporting both shoulder and elbow in motion. Trusted by over 100,000 athletes. Want to protect your player? Click on SandlotRadioNetwork.com partners and order your Kinetic Arm today.